Don your gi and get ready to sand the floor because aggression is coming your way. Welcome once again, UWA Elite fans, to another card rundown. I'm the man of 1,000 spreadsheets, MC Hale, and not only do I know karate, but like 3 other words in Japanese too. Anyway, mark your calendars. The date, this Saturday, June 14th. The time, 6 p.m. doors will open and 6:30 is our first bell. And the place, of course, is the UWA Elite Army Base at the South River VFW, 31 Reid Street in South River, New Jersey. Now, as you may have guessed by my sad attempts at humor, Aggression is a martial arts themed event. So all of you karate kids and Cobra Kai minions come dressed to represent your discipline and dojo. And to go along with the theming, during intermission we will have a special martial arts demonstration courtesy of Tiger Schulman's of East Brunswick. Tickets for Aggression are available exclusively at UWAElite.com, so while you put those orders in, let's get to the rundown. Let's start with the big belt, because there is a lot to wrap our collective brain around here, and not all of it, actually quite a small amount of it, is clear right now. Motivations and thought processes are hazy, and that might be exactly the strategy. You see, Mike Seaway was given the opportunity to call his shot 2 months ago after Dangerous Uprisings. A UWA Elite Championship opportunity at Mega Fight 5 against Joey Adams, or an Iron Man title shot against Jungle Jim Wilder, with the other match, the one that Seaway didn't choose, going to his best friend and old guard teammate, Chris Powers. Well, Seaway picked the UWA Elite title shot. Chris Powers said he was proud of him for thinking big. But then it got weird. Powers then asked Seaway to pull out of his match with Adams and give the opportunity to Powers, who had already turned down the Iron Man match. The Iron Man spot would be abandoned, filled by KTB, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And Seaway, loyal as ever, immediately fell in line and gave up the match. A match that Powers went on to lose at Mega Fight. Now, following the match, Seaway demanded that his opportunity be reinstated for reasons, and Chris Powers basically claimed the same thing. So where does that leave UWA Elite Champ, the anti-hero, Joey Adams? Well, Adams seems like he's finally absolutely fed up with the machinations of the old guard and is welcoming, practically insisting, on a triple threat match for his own title belt. Now, Adams has struggled recently with getting the fans back on his side following his brief against his will stint with the old guard, and may see this as a way of proving himself to the UWA Elite Army. And speaking of proving himself, will Seaway's loyalty be the key to bringing gold back to the old guard? Yeah, it's a triple threat match, but it might as well be a 2-on-1, with both Seaway and Powers on the advantaged side. So this Saturday, your main event will feature the anti-hero, UWA Elite Champion Joey Adams, in a technically triple threat match against both massive Mike Seaway and stuntman Chris Powers, with the championship on the line. Well, speaking of calling their shot, how about the Do or Die Posse successfully and controversially cashing in their tag team golden ticket against the decimated Pretty Freaking Ugly back at Aggression? Well, as the standard clause states, the former champs, that's Jay Evans and Eddie Thomas, get a rematch and a chance to win their titles back. But there's a bit of a snag in that plan, possibly in a good way depending on your perspective. Explosive Eddie Thomas came through with another impressive display at Mega Fight 5, winning the Fatal 4-Way match and earning a shot at King Tech's I Championship, which means he's not available to challenge for the tag titles. Well, Flash Carter has offered his services, and it looks like that is exactly what the doctor ordered. If you recall, Evans stepped in last year to defend Flash's I Championship belt on his behalf, albeit unsuccessfully, when Flash went out with an injury. And now, with Eddie's blessing, Flash and Jay Evans are the ones calling their shot, claiming PFU's rematch against the Do or Die Posse. Now, while that's all well and good, let's not forget just who the tag champs are: Robbie Roller and KTB. Following their title victory at Dangerous Uprisings, Roller made the statement that there was no way anyone was stopping him and KTB as singles competitors before, and that's even more true now with them as a tag team. Now, can Evans and Carter prove them wrong? Frankly, can anyone on the entire UWA roster prove them wrong? Be there at Aggression when the UWA Elite Tag Team Champions KTB and Robbie Roller, the Do or Die Posse, put their titles up against the team of Jay the Key Evans and Flash Carter. So let's back up just a bit to something I mentioned just a few minutes ago. Eddie Thomas scoring a victory in that Fatal 4-Way at Mega Fight last month. The Fatal 4-Way that carried the stipulation that the winner would be the #1 contender to the I Championship title. Jay Evans and Flash Carter were nothing but encouraging, saying the Explosive One was going to steamroll the champ, who has no chance of keeping his belt, but Eddie's being a bit more cautious. Yes, he's coming into the match with a ton of momentum. Don't forget the other three men in that Fatal 4-Way were Troy Locke, Matt Vertigo, and Corey Dillinger. But it's also against arguably the most devious of competitors the UWA Elite roster has to offer, in the form of the Harbinger of the Great Awakening, and not to mention the current reigning I-Champion, King Tech. Now, Tech made his presence felt at Mega Fight 5 as well, and in a big way. A successful title defense against a very capable and eager opponent in V. Daniel. Tech again went outside of the rulebook to secure the victory, but at some point you need to simply consider that part and parcel of a match against the Red Lion. All of the technical wrestling ability in the world doesn't do much good when you're getting a set of iron keys planted between your eyes, or taking a mule kick to the nether regions. Now we can only imagine the celebration that will take place not only down the shore with Carter and Evans, but also at ringside should Explosive Eddie Thomas bring the I-Championship back to the UWA Elite Army. But what fate awaits all of us, the entire UWA Elite roster, if the gods of the Squared Circle see fit to continue smiling down on their prophet? Be there June 14th at Aggression to see for yourself who will leave South River with that I-Championship belt around their waist. It's the challenger, Explosive Eddie Thomas, against the champion, the Red Lion, King Tech. Well, it would seem that Eddie Thomas isn't the only one trying to get his hands on I-Champion King Tech. The man Tech defeated for that title belt, Bulldog Pittman, has been absolutely blowing up the phone of UWA Elite President Dave Swan, demanding a rematch against the Red Lion. Unfortunately for Bulldog, though, his road to Tech goes right through the jungle. See, with Tech otherwise occupied at Aggression, Bulldog will instead be challenging for the Iron Man Championship. Jungle Jim Wilder's Iron Man Championship. Now, Wilder is coming off of his 5th straight successful title defense, and against KTB no less, representing the Do or Die Posse, earning another notch in the khaki-colored belt of the Faction Killer. Now, it wasn't an overwhelming win, it was a disqualification, but it shows once again the adaptability of Wilder, taking what his opponent gives and twisting it into victory. And that's exactly the strategy the Iron Man champ will need, because as he himself admits, Bulldog is bigger, stronger, and faster than Wilder. So what weakness will he have to exploit? Well, Bulldog might have served it right up. Distraction. Bulldog is so incensed, so furious at his defeat through dirty tactics by Tech, that Pittman is already looking past this match. Past Wilder, past the Iron Man champion, who keeps stacking underdog victory on top of underdog victory. The odds say that Bulldog has the distinct advantage in this match, but the odds don't wrestle. Can Bulldog keep his head and shock collar his way to victory, or will Jungle Jim continue his trek on the mountaintop and make this match defense number 6? It's Iron Man champion Jungle Jim Wilder against challenger Bulldog Pittman this Saturday at Aggression, and the title belt is on the line. Speaking of factions, there's one that has absolutely shattered in a way that is even pulling a retired wrestler back into the Squared Circle. And of course, I'm talking about the Contingent. Look, I have spoken at exhausting length about how Nick Kay led his associates Eric Corvus, BT Bull, and Ty Thomas to multiple championships, the Golden Ticket, fan awards, and left half the roster in their wake. But now with the destruction turned inward, a much different picture is coming into focus. We're already over half a year removed from the split of Corvus and Bull beating down Ty Thomas, much to the shock of Nick Kay. And any questions of motivation, the hows and the whys, are kind of meaningless. What matters now is that you have Cell Block 6 winner Eric Corvus at odds with Kay, who is attempting to use the same logic that a spot won by any member of the Contingent can be assigned to any other member, to put Ty Thomas in that number 1 contender spot instead. A tactic that Corvus seemed to have no issues with last year when he was the one getting the championship opportunity earned by Ty. And with Bull seemingly 100% on the side of the mat mechanic, Kay has effectively lost control over the group that he formed. For these 4 men, this is bigger than a title shot, even one earned through one of the most brutal matches UWA Elite has to offer, the Cell Block 6. This is about the very essence of the Contingent, and that is exactly what is now on the line. Both pairs are claiming rights to both the name and the UWA Elite title shot, and so that's exactly what the prize will be. After Mega Fight 5, Thomas and Kay discussed the attacks by Corvus, the betrayal of BT Bull. The very name has become self-descriptive. Alternate strategies, plan Bs, contingencies. And so the plan B is being put into action. Sure, it's a bit of a gamble, but that's what Ty Thomas is all about now. Ty returned the jacket of the original professional wrestler to his partner, and the match was nearly booked. But Kay had one more stipulation based on his insistence that we're not wrestling, we're fighting. Oh, it's still 2 versus 2, but Saturday night at Aggression, you will see Eric Corvus, BT Bull, Ty Thomas, and Nick Kay all in the ring at the same time, no tags needed. As Eric Corvus' title shot is on the line, along with the rights to the entire faction of the contingent in a Tornado tag team fight. Following both Corey Dillinger and Matt Vertigo coming up short in the fatal 4-way at Mega Fight 5, UWA Elite cameras caught up with the two friends discussing their recent setbacks and how the most fun they've had recently was tagging together during Crossroads Week at last year's Middlesex County Fair. But when you find something that works, something that makes the job fun, you hang on to it, and that is exactly what they are doing. Sealed with a handshake worthy of the big screen, the New York Drip and the Diligent One are joining forces, bringing two incredibly formidable singles competitors back together as a tag team once again. But action movie predators aren't going to be the ones across the ring from them in Aggression, so who will it be? Well, another pair were discussing their own recent struggles while watching tape in the video room. Miles Penn and Ryan Rise, the Lost Boys, had some video analysis going with Penn calling out Rise for playing to the crowd, the UWA Elite Army, instead of pressing his advantage against the Just Us League. Now, Rise was in agreement too, saying they need to lock it down and get back on track. But how? Penn's statement that we need a big change was met with comments on how they could use the Dillinger and Vertigo tag team reformation to catapult themselves back toward the top of the tag team division. Now, folks, I am all for go big or go home, but the Lost Boys are challenging combined 4-time UWA Elite champions here. Dillinger's a 2-time tag champ as well, so it's not like there's no experience in that realm either. Now, having said that, if you have to go back to nearly a full year ago to find tag success for Dillinger and Vertigo, well, maybe Rise and Penn have a point. And imagine the statement that would make: the Lost Boys defeat Corey Dillinger and Matt Vertigo to the rest of the tag team roster. It's a classic tale of youth versus experience coming your way this Saturday, when the New York Drip, Matt Vertigo, teams with Diligent Corey Dillinger to take on Miles Penn and Ryan Rise, the Lost Boys, at Aggression. And finally, oh boy, this one. Let's see if we can get into the head of a man with at least a few too many voices there already. The Just Us League, the team of Michael Massacre, Chris Steeler, and Max Bain, were victorious at Dangerous Uprising, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat thanks to Bain seemingly being the only one on the same page as both of his tag partners. Seriously, go to our social media pages right now and watch Dangerous Uprisings again. For free, by the way, I gotta get that plug in. And you'll see that anything Steeler and Massacre attempted with each other fell apart. Well, it seems Massacre wasn't done after the bell rang and took out his frustrations on his own teammates, hitting both Steeler and Bain with a steel chair in one of the most clearly communicated resignations ever submitted. Meanwhile, after that same event, the Lost Boys were trying to figure out where they went wrong, even sending away our own Shannon May. When Penn and Rise left to continue their strategizing, Massacre appeared behind Eighth and Promise, delivering a surprise beatdown, saying, "I was lost, but now I'm found." He doubled down on these words later, saying, "I don't fight for honor, I fight for legacy," calling it his rebirth. He even specifically referred to Promise's own faction, taunting that Promise may be lost, but Massacre has been found by purpose. Well, Promise responded, obviously looking for a bit of revenge, but also being thoroughly confused by Massacre's actions and words. Not only did he attack Promise, but his own teammates Steeler and Bain. It's no longer the Just Us League against the Lost Boys. It's Eighth and Promise against Michael Massacre. With no support coming from their respective corners, no teammates to make a save, how will the fire of Promise match up against the intensity of Massacre? We'll see what these two have in store for each other on Saturday when Eighth and Promise takes on Michael Massacre one-on-one. Folks, connect to our social media for all of the late-breaking developments as we get ready for Aggression. It all happens this Saturday, June 14th at the UWA Elite Army Base, the South River VFW, 31 Reid Street in South River, New Jersey. Doors open at 6 p.m., bell time is 30 minutes later, and you can get your tickets right now exclusively at uwaelite.com. Catch up on all of our past events for free on the UWA Elite Network, powered by YouTube. And don't forget, we are in martial arts mode on Saturday, so you can look the part while you enjoy the intermission martial arts demonstration from our friends at Tiger Schulman's of East Brunswick. Matches, martial arts, and MC Hale, the man of 1,000 spreadsheets, are coming your way Saturday. And so until then, UWA Elite fans, I will see you at Ringside.
We're ready to roll. The old god is falling, can't hold us back now. We're the best around, gonna take that crown. In this fight, we're standing strong. Aggression's there, it won't take long. Strike first, strike hard, we own the night. No mercy given, we're ready to fight. Sail with power like Street Fighter, we'll never back down. The contingent implode and we'll wear the crown. Our hearts are blazing, we're pushing through, just like Danielson taught. We'll always break through. It's a war of the worlds where the champion is here. Each punch and each kick echoes loud and clear. In this fight, we're standing strong. Aggression's there, it won't take all night. No mercy given, we're ready to fight.